all this discussion around we got to do stuff like close the racial wealth gap. We got to do racial justice investing. And I remember it hit me like a bag of rocks. Wealth is created by owning assets that generate revenue, that appreciate over time, that in theory might even have tax advantages. So if you're going to close the racial wealth gap, you got to help more people of color own commercial property. The Brookings research, Tracy Lowe, Andre Perry, 81% of commercial property is owned by 1% of the population. And whether it's assets, could be homes and businesses, it's commercial real estate. So we now own 6 shopping centers in Chicago.
Hello.
Oh, sorry about that. I was on mute. I'm not a fan of. I mean, you'll almost never hear me talk about either of those guys.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I feel like a lot of the divisiveness comes from people that look like me, which is unfortunately the black people, because every time I'm even my family or whether it's like online or on TikTok, it's just like all this racial division. I feel like comes from majority of black people because they're always playing victim, they're always bringing up the past, they're always being divisive, and it's just like white people aren't doing that. I mean, some of them are. Don't get me wrong.
Let me. How into American history are you?
I mean, I know my American history a little bit.
Okay, well then you know that white people have been doing it for centuries in America. So that black people are the only ones being racially divisive, I think that's easily disproven. The other thing the other thing that I personally don't do is I don't even have a TikTok or, I have an Instagram account, but I don't really use it, for information or anything like that. So I think sometimes I'm going, whoa. I'm going to finish and then you go. I think sometimes that people kind of get a magnified or skewed view of reality if you're only looking at social media. And as far as proving, I mean, American history is literally chock full of white people being racial.
Well, first off, I mean, I never said you was on TikTok. I was just making a general statement.
No, I didn't say you did. You mentioned it. I'm saying if you are getting the racial division and all that stuff from TikTok, I'm saying you're getting a skewed version of reality. I didn't say I was on it. I said if you are getting your news or information solely from social media, you're getting a skewed perspective.
Yeah, but I think the problem is black people blame whites too much, and they blame them a lot that they don't even want to fix the issues in their own community, like black on black crime. I mean, high blood pressure, diabetes, populous homes.
That's an interesting point. Now, tell me how black people can solve crime.
Well, first they can solve crime by asking for more police instead of trying to be stupid and defund the police. Because a lot of people was trying to do that in 2020.
This is 2025. Defund the police died a few years ago. As a matter of fact, defund the police died when Joe Biden came into office because he was not into defund the police. So it's been defund the police pretty much died in 2020. So that's 5 years ago.
And also hold these rappers and these bad influences accountable, because it's clearly not as a good influence as it was back in the day. Because a lot of people look up to Sexy Red, they look up to Lil Durk, they look up to Chief Keef, these degenerates, these incels to society. And then when
that's an interesting point. Now, do you expect Sexy Red to stop doing what she's doing?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So you expect her to give up her livelihood?
I'm saying she needs to change her image because a lot of young black people, especially my age, are looking up to that.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you blame Sexy Red for these kids looking up to her, or do you blame the parents?
I blame both the parents and Sexy Red.
Okay, well, I mean that's fair. I would tend to blame the parents, and as a parent of a 19-year-old, I was actually very aware of what my son listened to, the social media and all that. I mean, I really never censored it. I just kind of let him know what the expectations were, and every now and again I'd go back and spot check. But I personally think that Sexy Red should be as sexy and as red as she wants to be. It's up to the parents to decide who that child gets exposed to. And I know it's not, you can't do it 100% of the time. But one of the things I caught a lot of guff from my son, he didn't get a phone until he was in high school.
Well, I mean,
So I mean,
I did too. I can
he
relate.
he had fairly limited access to the internet. Like for instance, I can't recall, he didn't have a computer in his room. So I mean, if he needed to use the internet, he either used it at school or he had one of those Chromebooks that kids bring home from school. And the Chromebook actually had the security protocols. The school, has its own security protocols. And anything I needed to do on my end from the router, I know how to get in the router and, clamp down, the types of websites he doesn't need to be on. But that's me as a parent. And I kind of know computers. I can't expect every parent to be able to do that. But the bottom line is I am a huge proponent of parents uber alles. I'm not going to blame Sexy Red. I'm going to blame the parent who lets the kids play that stuff in the house.
I mean, yeah,
I'm
true,
also
true.
going well, one other thing, I'm also going to blame the parent who is playing Sexy Red.
I mean, true too. But I just feel like black people need to take more accountability, especially like
Oh, you and I agree on that.
instead of blaming the white man for every little thing.
I do not. I totally agree with that. Like I said, black culture.
I think
It,
we owe the whites a little bit more respect.
I don't know white shit. However, I do think that black culture starts within the four walls of the family. Blaming whites for everything, I agree, but we don't know white shit.
No, yes, we do because they
Nope,
helped
now
us be
we
free.
don't. We don't
The
owe.
Republicans
We
freed the
don't owe
slave.
whites.
The
We don't
Republicans
owe
freed the
whites.
slave. If
We
all these white people
we
was bad,
okay.
we wouldn't be free.
Once
We wouldn't be
again,
free.
once again, YNs don't know their history. We don't owe them shit.
Well,
Because if
no,
you're gonna
yes, we do.
if you're gonna make that argument, if you want to talk about what Republicans did way back when, then you know what? You're actually making a reparations argument. If we should be thankful for something that happened 100 or 200 years ago, then they owe us.
How do they how do they owe us?
If we owe them a debt of gratitude for being freed from slavery, well, they owe us a debt for putting us in slavery in the first place.
Look,
I
I'm
don't
not saying
agree. I don't agree with either of those. I don't think we owe white people shit. And you know what? I'll just say, hey, you know what? White people don't owe us shit either, and call it even.
look, I'm not saying that whites never had us in slavery. They did, but let's not forget that
Okay, well, no,
unlike
no, no.
black
What
people
I
sold us
need
out
no,
too. Let's not
I've
forget that.
already. Let's not keep repeating what I've already said is bullshit. If we you still think that blacks ought to be grateful to whites for freeing us from slavery, well, they didn't do
Yes.
it yesterday. They did it 100 years ago. I don't know them shit. Just like their families didn't put me in slavery, their families didn't free me from slavery either.
I get what you're saying, but the point is, I'm saying we're the point is that we shouldn't be anti-white when at the end of the day, like we all need to like work together. And I feel like the FB.
I agree. We should not be anti-white. I 100% agree with that. As a matter of fact, black people should never be racist because we know what happens when people are racist. Black people should be the last people to be anti-white. We know the consequences.
I'm just saying, it just seems like, back to my original statement, like when I came up here, I'm just saying it seems like the racism and the prejudiceness mostly comes from the blacks. That's just what I feel like.
No, and I disagree. I think whites in America invented racism. They put it into law. They taught blacks how to be racist. House slaves and field slaves.
You gotta be kidding me.
Whoa. Whites taught us that shit. It's in the history books.
I don't think they did.
Oh, you need
who's to say the history? Who's to say the history even true?
Hold on. You need to crack open a history book. When that when Thomas Jefferson got Sally Hemings, pregnant 5 times, his kids got treated special. Just read the history of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings as one example of the masses' offspring being treated better than the field slaves. Where do you think black slaves learned who the master's favorite was and who wasn't?
I mean, look,
don't say that black people taught themselves how to be racist. It was the racists who taught us to be racist.
No, that's not true.
It is 100% true.
That's your opinion.
No. That is not my opinion, son. Thomas Jefferson was real, son. Sally Hemings was real, son. It's in the history books. My opinion is formed off of certified, bona fide, verified history. Yours is not.
You're doing things. You're saying things based off your opinion. You're saying things based off your opinion.
Literally do not.
You're saying things based off your opinion.
I am literally telling you are ignorant.
No, you're ignorant. Bro.
You do not know enough.
You are ignorant.
Know enough. You do not know enough to make these
arguments. That's why you be ducking. That's why you be ducking, be brave.
Nope, I'm telling you, you don't know shit. I literally just.
No, you don't know. No, you don't know anything. You're speaking your opinion. You're speaking your opinion.
Nope.
You're just speaking your opinion. You want to say things that fit your narrative. That's what you do. You want to say things that fit your narrative.
You will let me.
You want to say things. You want to say things. You want to say things that fit your narrative.
Yeah. You need to calm your young ass down. My opinion is you don't know shit, so you get to just spew your ignorance and I'll listen.
No, you're speaking your opinion. You're saying things from your point of view, bro. You're not speaking facts. And the facts is that white people are not the enemy. That's the facts. Now, yes, did they do things back in the day that wasn't so good? Yes, I never said they did. But the point is that if all white people were bad, then we wouldn't be free. So that's why we own.
And you know what? It took a goddamn war to do it. They didn't do it out of the goodness of their hearts.
How did they not do it?
No. Now you.
How did they not do it? The goodness of their heart.
Okay,
how did they not do it? How did they not do it?
Motherfucker, didn't they teach you about the Civil War in high school? Is the Civil War my opinion too? The fact is that slavery ended and it took a civil war to do it. Now fucking tell me that's my opinion. There's nothing worse than an ignorant YN, in my opinion.
Look, the Civil War is not your opinion. I never said that. What I'm saying, matter of fact, didn't blacks fight in the Civil War? Didn't we fight in the Civil War?
Okay, dude. The Civil War happened no matter who fought in it. What does black people fighting in the Civil War, how does that change the fact that it took a civil war to end slavery?
I mean, it did, but at the end of the day, it still was whites fighting to abolish and get rid of slavery. That's
Blacks
facts.
fought too. You literally just said it was blacks who fought too. So you're saying
I
the
know.
black? Are you saying the blacks were just there to fire a couple bullets, or did blacks fight to end slavery too?
No, I'm saying yes, yes,
Okay,
we
I
did, but
need
I'm
you to
saying
answer my question. Did blacks
that's what I
fight?
just said. I just said yes. I just said yes.
Okay, well then, what is your argument?
I was just saying. I was just saying. I think we owe whites a little bit more gratitude.
And I think we owe whites not a goddamn thing. We fought to end slavery just like the whites did.
Yes, we did. You're right.
Okay,
But
so
here's the thing: we're outnumbered
why do we owe them gratitude for something we fought for?
because this is a majority white country, right? This
Okay,
is
so
like a
you
country
are
that's
just I got you. So you're just into worshiping whites.
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. You're
Well, that's
twisting
what it
my
sounds
words.
like.
I'm just
Oh,
saying.
whoa, whoa. Hey, before you go on, I'm gonna twist the shit out of your words. You better make sure they're untwistable, because I will twist them.
No, you like to twist
I will
people's words,
literally,
man.
I will
No,
literally,
you like to
I
twist
will
people's words.
literally, I will
You like
literally
to
take.
twist people's
I
words.
will. I love twisting
You're not
people's words.
slick. You're not slick.
You will be surprised at how slick I can
You're
be.
not. You're not
I'm-
slick.
Hey,
You're not
here is
slick.
the fair.
Be
Here is
brave.
the
Be
fair.
brave. Be brave. Has
Okay,
put me on to
okay.
you. You're not slick.
Okay, once again, you want to talk constantly. This gish gallop isn't going to work. I will take your word. You better just make sure your words are good words and are untwistable, or I'll twist them just like Be Brave. I twist Be Brave's words all the time for the fun of it. I will take your words, I will twist them, and I will laugh at you when I make a fool of you.
Now back to what I was saying. No, I'm not worshiping the white man. I'm not bowing down. That's not what I'm doing.
Well, you know what? You keep talking about my opinion. My opinion is you're worshiping the white man. And the reason you're worshiping the white man is because the white man made sure you weren't taught American history.
That's not true at all.
You don't think so? I can't tell.
And who's to say? I mean, the history. I mean, could have been a lie. I mean, a lot of things were a lie. I mean, who's to say history wasn't a
Well,
lie? Like
you
we
know
don't know.
what? Who's to say it's not a lie?
I'm just saying. At the end of the day, none of us was alive for things going on
Okay.
back then for 20
Again,
years ago.
if
So
none
again,
of us
we don't
were
know.
alive, if none of us were alive, what makes your version of history better than mine?
I didn't say mom was better. I just said at the end of
I
the day,
didn't
you
say
never
you
know.
said it. I just asked you a question. You keep saying that none of us are real sure about what actually happened. My question, if I'm going to buy that argument, what makes your version of what happened any more valid than mine?
Look, I'm just saying you never know. But I was just speaking
Well, you
about what I
never
learned
know
about.
either. See, that's the funny thing.
I was just speaking what I
No,
learned in high
if
school.
if what you're saying is no one knows, then we are both equally ignorant. Your argument is no better than mine.
I'm just saying, look, at the end of the day, I'm just saying back to my original point because I feel like we keep, drifting off and getting
We're
away from
going to
that.
keep going over it, and I'm going to keep twisting your words. To remind everybody,
Oh
we
my
don't owe white
gosh.
people. We do not owe white people shit.
Yeah, I'm about to leave because you just keep twisting my words and
That is probably
you just
wise.
keep speaking your opinion,
We
bro.
don't owe
But I'm
white
gonna say,
people shit. And
I'm gonna say,
I am so glad that I didn't raise a son to worship whites and think they owe something to
I don't
white
worship.
men.
I don't
I
worship.
think
I'm
you
not
worship them.
worship. How am I
I
worshiping them?
think at a minimum,
How am I worshiping them?
you are grateful that the white man freed you.
Well, last
Aren't
time I checked, it's a white country, and you need to be careful because
Yeah,
if they really wanted us, if they really wanted us gone, we will be gone.
It is a white man's country, but the white people running it are nothing like your daddy Be Brave.
Okay,
If
be
white,
brave is
at least if white people are going to run the country, there's some smart white people, unlike Be Brave, who is a goddamn moron and a racist moron at that.
look. Be brave is not my
Be
dad. Be
Brave is
brave.
not running. Be Brave is not running the white man's country. So stop
I didn't
worshiping him.
say I'm not worshiping him, bro. You know what,
You
bro?
love you some Be Brave.
I've been on this channel for like a month. I mean, he be
Oh,
speaking
motherfucker,
facts.
I
He be
will
speaking
take you.
facts.
I hope I get you and Be Brave up on a panel so I can twist both of your words. It'll be a
Look,
twofer.
we'll be me and him is like a dynamic duo. All right.
You know what?
We would tear you up.
A dynamic duo of hayseeds.
What I'm saying, all right, look. What I'm saying is that black people need to take more accountability and quit blaming whites for everything.
I
Because
agree.
at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like I said, the racism is coming from the blacks. It's not coming from the whites. You know what I'm saying? They donated to Shiloh.
Does it come from white people? White people taught black people in America how to be racist.
So did they teach us how to shoot up each other?
They taught us.
Did they teach us how to join gangs? Did they teach us degeneracy?
Were black people speaking English when they were brought over as slaves?
I mean, no.
No, were they or not? They were fresh off the boat from Africa. Who taught the slaves English?
The white people did, because they English.
Okay, so you know what? Stick with me here. So if white people taught blacks English, they certainly taught us the word racist. What evidence do you have that African slaves didn't learn racist behaviors and racist words from the racists who were their slave owners?
Because I'm saying at the end of the day, black people are racist because they want to blame whites for everything. That's the truth.
Well,
they don't ever want to take accountability.
At the end of the day, ignorant YNs who don't know their American history would be seduced, if not psyoped, into thinking that. At the end of the day, you really don't know your own arguments. Because if you actually knew American history, you wouldn't be arguing this tripe. And it is tripe.
No, I'm speaking facts.
You are speaking what you know, and you don't know a lot. I'm speaking
facts, all right? And the facts is
you are speaking
blacks kill other blacks in the street. Black communities are worse.
A little knowledge is a dangerous thing, and you have a little knowledge, but not a lot of knowledge. That's why you're speaking the facts you know.
They're producing degenerate characters like Lil Durk and Chief Keef and all of them, and they're not taking accountability for it. That's the problem.
People are.
They're producing. The black community is producing degenerates and incels to the community.
You know what?
Messing everything up. They fuck everything up.
That may well be, but degeneracy is a different argument than racism. You're moving the goalpost.
I'm not moving the goalpost. That's not what I'm doing.
1 minute we're talking black people are racist, and the other minute you're saying they're degenerates. I'm saying they're two different arguments.
I'm saying some black people shouldn't be racist because the white people are giving them opportunity.
You just think black people are trash.
That's not what I said. See, you're twisting my words.
No. I'm translating. I didn't say you said it. I'm saying I'm translating. You think black people aren't worth a shit, and we should be worshiping whites, and we'll be on the road to actually being decent human beings.
I'm saying that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying.
I told you I'm going to twist your words. I warned you.
That's what you're doing, man. Because you're an idiot. Okay.
I warned you, and I'm going to keep doing it. See, when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, it just makes it easier for people like me to twist your words. You got to know something. You got to know what you're talking about. and I won't be able to twist it.
No, you're twisting my word. You're choosing what
I
words,
am
what
choosing,
to
I
listen.
am
You're choosing
twisting,
what to listen to. That's what
I
you're
am
doing.
mangling.
That's what
I
you're
am
doing.
I'm taking
That's
your
what you're
words
doing.
out of context. I'm taking them out of context. I'm making it up as I go along because you don't know shit.
No, you don't know
You
anything.
literally,
You don't know
literally,
anything.
I'm surprised Be Brave didn't warn you that coming up here, I would just crush bad arguments. He didn't tell
Look,
you
man,
that?
I don't need.
Why do
Look,
you think Be
I don't.
Brave never comes up here? Why do you think Be Brave never comes up here? Because I do to him what I just did to you.
No, I'm taking you on by myself. I don't need
Oh,
B. I
motherfucker!
don't need him over here. I
You are not.
don't need him. I don't need
Wait,
him over
hold it.
here.
You are not taking me on. You are You're having a mud hole stomped in your argument.
No,
Your
no,
argument
you're
is trash. Argument is ignorant.
I'm beating you in the argument. No, I'm beating you with facts. You're speaking opinions. You're speaking opinions. You're speaking opinions.
You literally think black people should be thanking white people because we're free.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
You know
100%.
You know
100%.
I'm telling
no
you
doubt
right
about
now. I'm telling you right now, if you knew a little bit of American history, you would know how ignorant you sound.
No, you're the ignorant. You're the ignorant one. That's what you is.
You sound like
you're the
you
ignorant
are a
one.
Scared, tired, cold former slave.
No, you're the ignorant one. That's what you is. You're the ignorant.
No, I'm afraid not, son. I'm afraid I'm not ignorant. I'm afraid, as usual, when
you one of these FBA. You probably one of these FBA Americans that play victim. That's what you is. You was the FBA.
You know what you are?
You're just another FBA. You're just another FBA. That's what you is.
You are a Jesse Lee Peterson.
You're just
doesn't know.
How am I? Wait, I don't even watch Jesse Lee Peterson. How am I Jesse Lee Peterson? I don't even watch him. I'm not subscribed to him. I don't watch him.
You know what? If you watched him, you would know what you sound like.
I don't even watch that dude. He's a troll. Jesse Lee Peterson is a troll. Like, what are you talking about?
Stanley.
What's up, CK?
Jay is trolling.
Do you come to save this young man from himself?
Yeah, he's from Northeast Ohio. He's trolling, Stanley.
Oh, is that right?
Wait, CK, how am I trolling?
Jay, I know where you from, man. You trolling, man.
How am I trolling?
The school you went to did not teach you what you're saying right now.
No, let me tell you about my life story. Because I learned this stuff the past 4 years. But
you did not learn that.
I grew up. I grew up around. I grew up around whites, right?
Yeah, in Twinsburg, right?
Yes.
Right. That school did not teach you what you're speaking right now.
Well, I learned what I'm speaking from the past 4 years watching right-wing conservatives. All right.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains a lot then. All right. Well, you got a lot of work unlearning what you learned.
But even back then, before I was watching right wingers, like I never really played this victim mentality. I never was anti-white.
Okay, well,
I never was.
I agree that black people should not be blaming white people for everything. As a matter of fact, I would almost go even farther and say black people shouldn't be blaming white people for anything these days. If you can't make it in 2025, it is not white people's fault. Generally. Now there are maybe exceptions, but by and large, 99% of the time, blaming white people in 2025 because you can't get a job or something like that. But outside of the two of us, he'll be back. Outside of you and me agreeing on that part, we don't agree on American history. I think black people owe white people nothing in 2025, and they don't owe us anything.
Yeah, true. But CK doesn't know what he's talking about. Because I never said I learned this stuff in school. I don't know why.
I wouldn't be fucking with the Admiral like that.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't know what he's talking about. 'Cause I never said I learned this stuff in school, so I don't know what he's talking about. But the
Well, see,
fact is,
that's another. You have this weird tick about you didn't say something. No one's saying you said it. We're telling you what you mean. Okay, just because you didn't say it doesn't mean you don't mean it.
now CK, now if he's just scared of white people, he can just say that. But I grew
Yeah,
up in white face. I grew up in white
dude,
spaces, and I don't have no issues
both
with
of
white
us
people.
were in the Navy. We know white people well enough to know that you don't need to worship them or thank them or anything else. They're people just like you and me.
But I was just saying, like back to my original point when I can remember. I just feel like the division, the divisiveness and stuff has came from the FBAs, like the Umars, and like the Tariq Nasheeds.
Okay,
I know you
well,
don't
I
watch
mean,
them. I know you don't
like I
watch them.
told, well, let me go farther than that. Not only do I not watch them, I don't think they have the influence. Now I could be wrong because I'm 60.
Can you hear me, Stanley?
I don't. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't get out in these YouTube streets that much. I don't get out in the streets that much. So maybe Umar has more influence, and maybe CK would probably know better than me. From where I sit,
You talk about Umar Johnson?
Umar and
He has no influence.
Tariq Nasheed.
He has no
Because I mean,
influence.
if you're listening to those guys at all, you're being led astray. There's almost nothing that I've come across, and I do see a clip every now and again. I've literally heard nothing that they've said that would help me in a historical or race or political argument. They're really like candy. You know, it sounds good. You know, maybe makes you laugh, but there's nothing of value I would go and have some debate with. So, yeah, I mean, I first thing you need to do is stop listening to those two.
Stanley, Jay grew up in a good neighborhood. He went to a decent school, and I know that school did not teach him what he is speaking right now.
Well, no, he said he learned it in the last 4 years.
Stanley, he only what, 22?
I don't know. He sounds young. I don't know
Yeah,
how
he's
old.
young.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
he only 22 years old. He's a kid.
Oh, wow. Jay, you still there? he's probably sucking on his bottle.
Yeah, he's a kid. So Stanley, if he didn't learn it in high school, I know
He
didn't
said
learn
he learned it from right-wing media.
Okay.
I mean, you shouldn't be learning any history from the media. I mean, every now and again, you know, some historian will be given an interview or something, but you really, and I know it sounds old-fashioned. Hell, I got a Kindle. You know, I read almost like 99.9% of my books are on a Kindle, but I'm reading books. I don't go to really any sort of visual media. And even if I do, it's usually like something that, you know, is on a topic that I've read about. Yeah, but Tariq Nasheed or, you know, like a Charlie Kirk or something, if you're listening to them and taking their historical points, please don't do that. Do yourself a favor.
Stanley, all those guys are grifters. Umar, Charlie Kirkland, what's the other guy name? Tariq. They are all grifters. They just grifting. Yeah. That's it.
No, and I wish Brian Nichols would come up, because Brian Nichols is my age, basically, saying we need to be thankful to white people. I'm like, you know what? If we don't have to, you know, if they don't owe us reparations because it was a long time ago, well, the slaves were freed a long time ago. Why should we still be thankful? And the other thing is, blacks fought in the Civil War, so they fought for their own freedom. So I don't get this argument. Jay, you there?
Yeah, my bad. I had to take a call.
That's all right.
Yeah, back to CK, man. Yeah, I never said I learned this stuff in school, so I don't know what you're trying to refer to.
Well, he's just saying that you couldn't have learned it in school. Who would you say is your major right wing influence?
Officer Tatum.
Oh,
Uh,
fuck no. Oh,
And
that's even worse.
and
That's
there you go,
even worse than
and there you
that's
go,
worse than Tariq Nasheed.
there you go, Stanley. He,
how's Brandon Tatum bad?
man, you
How's
get
Brandon
your
Tatum
Well, that
bad?
information
mother,
from grifters, man. You get your
well,
information
let me
from
put it
grifters.
to you this way. Let me put it to you this way. This dude hasn't been a police officer in a decade or more, and he's still calling himself officer. Dude played football, didn't I don't even know that he finished college. The dude is back in the day when I was in high school, we would call people like him muscle heads. It's like he doesn't have a brain. He's a football player, he's a jock, and God gave him a muscle for a brain, but not a real brain. Dude is a moron.
Jay, how old are you? You like what, 22,
Now I'm 23. I'm about to be
23?
24 in August.
Yeah, man. You need to go join the military or something. To
Oh,
go
come
go
on.
see the world.
Who else I watched? I watched the Hodge twins. I
Yeah,
watched Anton Daniels.
yeah. Stop. Stop, Jay. Stop.
Well, let
What's
me
wrong with what's
offer
wrong with
let
what's
me
wrong with Anton
let
Daniels?
me
Jay, I need
He
to
be
be
can
speaking
I
there, man.
facts.
ask
And
you
I need to
can
take
I
you on
ask
my
you to do
mission,
me
Jay.
a favor?
I need to take you
Okay,
on my
What?
and
mission,
these are
Jay.
gonna be black conservatives like Glenn Lowry or even somebody like John McWhorter. Go read Thomas Sowell. Go read Walter Williams. Go read there a ton, Jason Riley. There are a lot of smart black. I need you to go on YouTube, look up Wilfred Riley. He is the smartest black conservative I can think of. And I don't agree with his politics a lot, but he is whip smart. You need to read him.
I'm gonna head back to the text, Danny. I gotta head back.
Okay. All right. Take it easy, CK. Don't be going to the Hodge twins or any of those guys. Go to actual smart black conservatives. I don't agree with their points of view, but I do agree that they can at least make good arguments that I can't defeat. At least most times I can't. And if me and a Glenn Lowry, if I were even in his league, if he and I were debating, we would probably agree on some things, not agree on others. But what we would agree on would just be like our interpretation of facts. It might be a glass, and I say it's half full, he says it's half empty, but at least we would agree that it's not a full glass of water. We might debate why it's not a full glass of water, but we agree that the glass isn't full. You really, and I'm not a conservative, but I need you to go and I need you to wean yourself of Tariq Nasheed. I need you to wean yourself of Officer Tatum. You need a Glenn Lowry in your life. You need a Wilfred Riley in your life. You need Thomas Sowell in your life. You need Walter Williams in your life. Please, if you're going to do black conservative, go to actual black conservatives who many of the times they
But
have
how
written
don't
the
but
book.
how I mean, okay, I can understand like sometimes the Hodge twins and Brandon Tatum, they may say things that that may
They're, they are
it
they
may
are
go a little too, but
unlearned.
how do they
They
but
are
they be
not.
speaking facts. They be speaking facts
They are.
sometimes.
No, 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 no. Look, they may be. Look, there's facts, and there's why the facts came to be. Okay, why are blacks primarily in inner cities? Okay, the fact is they're there, but aren't you curious as to how they got there? Why they continue to be there? Why
Because
there's
they
so
don't
many
because
problems there?
they
That's
don't work
that's
hard.
no, 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 no. That's what a Brandon Tatum. That's the easy answer. The hard
Come
the
on, man.
hard answer is going to take some work to know. And look, as an older black guy, I'm not a conservative, but you can do better than Brandon Tatum. You need a Glenn Lowry. You need a Thomas Sowell in your life. Please. If
All right,
you
what
gotta
about
be
the
if you gotta be a black conservative, at least be a black conservative who knows what he's talking about.
all right, do you at least respect Anton Daniels? He's like pro black, ain't he? You don't respect
No,
Anton Daniels?
I respect him
He's in
more than
Detroit, like he's from the inner
I
city, he's from Detroit.
I respect him more than I would someone like the Hodge twins.
All right, I mean, I can respect that. That's a fair point. That's a
Yeah,
fair
but
point.
Anton Daniels is a YouTube content creator. He's not a historian or an economist or a linguist.
Wouldn't you
He's
consider yourself a YouTuber since you're on
yeah,
YouTube?
yep. And I'm not an academic. Most of the guys that I talked about were academics. But I also will say that, I didn't major in history, but I read a lot of it. I actually, if I want to know an answer, I don't generally go to YouTube to find it. I may use YouTube to reinforce it. But if I want to know American history, I will go and read an American history book. I will read several American history books because there are historians who will write about the same event and have different interpretations of why it happened. But you don't just read one history book, you read a bunch of history books. That's the other recommendation. But dude, go to the classics, go to the professors, go to the black conservatives who have been being black conservatives for 30, 40 years. Even I respect Glenn Lowry. And by the
Yeah. I
way,
mean,
by the way, I read black conservatives too. I don't just limit myself to one side of the aisle. I read everything. As a matter of fact, it's sometimes better to know your opponent's argument better than he or she does. It just makes your argument stronger.
yeah, I get it, but I'm gonna get off.
Okay,
I gotta
and the
go. But
one
you know,
thing,
be
the
brave.
other
But be
thing,
brave, still my man though. He's still my man.
right? But well, that's fine. I mean, I like Be Brave. I just think he's a racist. However, but let me make one other thing, and you've probably heard Be Brave and John Galt. They will just poo poo like I don't need to read a book. You need to read a book. Okay, Be Brave, bright guy, good guy that he is. He is literally unknowledgeable. He does not know what he's talking
Oh,
about.
come on, man. How is he
No,
unknowledgeable?
he doesn't. This 70% bullshit. You do realize that he and I have actually sat down and had some form of debate, dude. He talks a good game, and he is telling his truth. But the bottom line is he is cotton candy, and what you need is a good, solid meat and potatoes meal. And I'm making that analogy to knowledge. He Be Brave is a Brandon. He's in the league with an Anton Daniels or someone of that ilk. If you want deep knowledge, you don't go to Be Brave or Anton Daniels. You hit the books. You put in the work.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, I was just making, a point for whites. I guess like, because like in high school and like
Oh,
throughout my life, like I didn't have like good experiences with like other blacks, especially in high school. I
well, let
didn't
me
get
tell
treated
you
by them the
something.
best.
I grew
I got
up.
treated by whites the best in my life. I'm
Well,
not.
let me tell you my background. I grew up in a black neighborhood. I was talking to Dave, first through sixth grade, went to an all black Catholic school. Up until seventh grade, I never even had a white friend because I didn't go to school with whites, didn't live in a white neighborhood. Seventh grade on, yeah, I had white friends because I was in mostly white schools. Um, I have lived in a black world, grew up in that black world. It wasn't the hood, it was actually still a pretty nice neighborhood in Savannah, Georgia. Um, but I know both sides of the coin. Hell, I married a white woman, so I mean, I her side of the family, my son's grandfather, he's got one white grandfather, he's got one black grandfather. So I have straddled both worlds. I can tell you right now, white people are no better than black people, and vice versa. We're all
All right, see you
people.
later, Brian.
But the bottom line is America has some problems, and it takes some work to not be affected by those problems. You will have to work hard to stay above the fray and be as objective as you can.